Hey guys, today we were talking about how to assemble 4 drum brakes. So for this assembly, you're going to need all of the parts shown right here. While it does look like a lot, they will all be available through what's called a drum brake hardware kit or a drum brake assembly kit. Moving on from that, this is the backing plate. This part is also available new, but I'm going to be reusing my old one. Coming from here, there is the wheel cylinder shown up top there. These are side specific, so there's one per side. And this is the part that's responsible for pushing out the brake shoes. Those are the brake shoes right there. You need to buy those new as well. And the brake shoes get pushed into the drum, which is this part right here. And the drum is the outer casing, and it's the friction surface that the shoes push onto. So to start off, there's the axle. That's what we're going to be putting the brakes onto. We're going to have these 4 bolts in the hardware kit, and you see they have those oval heads, which is really nice because they lock into place just like that, so they can't move. So go ahead and put all 4 of those in, and once those are in place, you can slide the backing plate over them. Now make sure that knob is going to be on the top. So from here, go ahead and put on all 4 nuts, and go ahead and snug them down all the way. You want them to be relatively tight at first, and then when you actually tighten them down, make sure you go into a crossing pattern. So next, you'll see that hole right there. That needs to be facing the front of the car, and that is going to connect to the e-brake cable as I just showed. And so what you're going to do is you're actually just going to pull the e-brake cable through the hole there, and then just pull it all the way through. And you'll see in this next clip, it's got these little teeth that lock it into place. And so this right here, it is not a picture of Shrek. It is actually the hole where the wheel cylinder goes into right here. That's just going to slide in. You're going to use 2 half-inch bolts that I just showed. Those will be in the kit. All you want to make sure is that that valve right there is going to be facing the front of the car. It is side specific. So go ahead and put those bolts in by hand, and then using a half-inch socket, then you can go ahead and tighten them down. Next, moving on to the brake shoes, you'll see that actually one of them is going to be about 2.5 inches longer, as you can see right here, and the longer one is going to face the back of the car with this orientation right here. And then you're going to need these 3 parts, is 2 washer-looking parts and then a spring, and they're going to sandwich just like that. So next, using one of the long pins in your hardware kit, put it through the hole in the backing plate, and then line it up with the small hole in the middle of the brake shoe. It's going to be the smallest hole in the brake shoe. So then go ahead and slide one of the washers on. They can only go on one way. And then following this, you'll put on the spring, and then the other washer will clamp it down. So put it through the hole and then twist it into place so that it locks in place like so. Next, we're going to look at the right brake shoe. It's the longer one. You're going to use this long bracket shown right here, as well as a wavy washer or a spring washer, and this C-clip in the hardware kit. So this step's pretty easy. You're going to slide this pin through the top hole in the brake shoe. It's the biggest hole in the top. Next, you're going to put the wavy washer over, and then you're going to push the C-clip into place. And then clamp the C-clip with a pair of pliers or vice grips like I'm doing. Next, the e-brake cable is going to have to fit onto that long arm or that lever. And it's a little bit tricky, so you have to pry the spring down. I'm using a short screwdriver. And what you have to do is push it down, and then you can fit that little notch over the cable. And you'll see me snap it in just right there, and then you can slide it down, and it locks into place just like that. So now we're going to repeat the same step that was done on the left side. You're going to put the long pin through the hole in the backing plate, line it up with the brake shoe, and then put the springs on just the same as the other side. And then we're going to use this long bracket and this oval spring that just snaps into place. So the spring needs to face the front of the car, and it's going to slide into the left brake shoe, and this other slot is going to go into that lever that we just attached the e-brake cable to. Next, we'll use this funny looking bracket. It's pretty hard to miss, and it's going to hook on to the right side brake shoe, and it's going to sit there like so. Next, we're going to take the cylindrical adjuster. This is actually what adjusts the distance on the brake shoes. So you're going to put it in between the two at the very bottom, and then I just unthreaded it so that it hooks itself in. Then taking the blue spring, you're going to put it into the bottommost hole on the left brake shoe, and then pull it all the way over into the bracket. And now everything's firm in place, and you can see that adjuster is now connected to that bracket into the springs, and that's how it adjusts the brake shoes. Lastly, we're going to use the green spring, and you're going to put the fatter end of the green spring into the hole right above that arched bracket. And then with some pliers, you're going to pull it up and hook it onto the knob at the top of the drum brake. And so that's actually the last step. As you can see, everything's going to be snug and firm in place. And now you're going to take the actual brake drum and slide it over the top. It's going to be firm, but it's going to slide over the top. And I don't have wheel studs, as I should, but those would go into those 5 holes I'm pointing out right now. And that's actually what the wheel goes on over the brake. And there you have it. Those are all the steps required to put together a Ford drum brake. Thanks for watching.